Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I am doing well, Jared. How are you?
I'm good. So, we're actually recording late, like we used to more, because we have been recording in the day lately, which has been nice, but Jamie had to take our daughter to her dance class because she's got a recital coming up, and there was supposed to be like a try-on thing and do a dance, and that didn't happen. So because of that, we're recording late right now, but we are very peppy.
We're trying to be peppy at 9:30.
There's no try. There just is. It's like water. It just is.
Okay.
I don't know if that made any sense. Speaking of water, I was going to say, if anybody out there is looking for things for your kids to do in the summer, or like my kids are driving me crazy, at least for our kids, a solution is a trampoline, ideally free. You get one in the neighborhood like we did. You got to put it together yourself. Kind of a pain, but you just get a simple, like, you found it. It's like a trampoline sprinkler.
Yeah. It's a sprinkler that attaches to your hose, and then you zip tie it basically to the side of the trampoline, and it just sprays inside.
Yeah, and our kids love it. We'll go out there for hours, and they sleep great. So if you're looking for something, maybe try that. I don't know. Our kids seem very entertained by it.
Especially our 4-year-old, who is like, 4-year-olds have a lot of energy. So he spends a lot of time on that trampoline, and he gets pretty tired and then sleeps like a rock. It's amazing.
He does.
It's amazing.
It's been, yeah. So if you're looking for that, maybe try that. If not, I don't know. That's just a thing that's worked for us. But here lately, it's been really nice in the evenings. So I've been enjoying that, because here soon in Florida, it's just going to be hot all the time.
Well, it is getting hotter already. It was 88 degrees at the very high today.
I know, so, it is. But the nice thing is, in the evenings, it's still been kind of nice. So I've been soaking up and enjoying it as much as possible. Because soon enough, if you've ever been to, Florida in the middle of the summer, the minute you walk outside, you're like, and sweaty, like just
immediately sweaty,
instantaneously. But yeah. So, all right, well, we're not going to talk about just trampolines and sprinklers the whole time. That'd be kind of I don't know. That'd be a weird show. I don't know how much more we could really talk about it. But we do have some news we're going to talk about today, including we have some Mother's Day things going on in the parks, and also some refurbishments that you might want to know about, and on the hotel side, that is. And we also have a new hotel that we're going to review called Delta Hotels by Marriott. This is brand new to us, and we stayed here a couple weeks ago, so we're going to talk about it and see if it's a place that maybe you would want to try or not want to try on your next trip, because it's an off-property hotel. And a lot of times we get a lot of people have questions about off-property hotels, so we're always on the lookout for them. We saw this one pop up numerous times, and we're like, let's give it a try. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, you can check us out over at CTM Podcast there. And if you're listening to us on good old trusty podcast, this audio form, we also greatly appreciate that, and ask that you would please just leave us a review and subscribe on whatever platform you listen on. And if you want even more content, you can check out Club 32, and that's our private group where we have more content. We have private Facebook group and Discord. We have a private podcast feed where we have music loops and all the additional content on there. We have 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. We have meetups. All sorts of things. You get to know, a lot of people become very good friends in there. It's kind of where we can interact a little bit more in that group. And again, you get some extra content, get some live streams. We're going to have the Club 32 Clubhouse very soon starting, where we're going to have Club 32 members are part of that show. We have the Club 32 show every Tuesday. We're a live stream. We just hang out with everybody. Cool Kids Kitchen, and much more. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go to ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join there, we'd love to have you. So, all right, well then, first news story we have is Hollywood Studios had their 35th anniversary yesterday, in case you didn't feel old.
That's a wonderful way to introduce it.
I started doing math, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, 35 years. So, yeah, there was a presentation featuring Kermit, Miss Piggy, Sorcerer Mickey, the cast of Fantasmic, and some leader, like there was, I think the ambassador was there, Jeff Vale was there, some leaders within the company were there, but it was really, I'm not going to say it wasn't bad. It was just kind of lackluster. Like it was just like this presentation, then they had some special merchandise, and that's basically it. There's really not much about more that they had. They had the commemorative map within the park guide map, but that was it.
Well, if we've looked at how they've handled these anniversaries, so you've got the 50th of Magic Kingdom, we had the 40th of Epcot, and now the 35th of Hollywood Studios. They've all followed the same pattern, which they don't really do a whole lot day of. There's some stuff that they, some merchandise you can get, but for the most part, it really isn't anything different. One of the reasons the Magic Kingdom 50th was such a big deal was because it also was the same day that they were premiering the new fireworks show.
Oh, yeah.
Enchantment. So that was one reason. And obviously, Magic Kingdom is just a bigger park. I mean, it's the Disney World anniversary. But, yeah, they don't tend to do a lot. I didn't think they would do much. And I guess you can look at it from perspective of, people who are just coming and that don't, that they're not involved in all the Disney lore. They probably may not care, so they're just looking at it that way. But, yeah, they don't tend to do a whole lot.
Do you think they did a big picture like they always do? On May 1st, they have to get a picture of everybody in front of the Chinese Theater.
I mean, I didn't hear if they did. I don't know. But either way, that was what's going on. Nothing. I suppose you can probably still get the merchandise for a little bit. Is it online?
I did not see it online. I think it was an exclusive thing today. You had to join a virtual queue to get in line to be able to go in the store. So I doubt it's online yet.
I did see some people saying they were hoping that the Sorcerer Mickey hat was going to come back, and I'm like, I don't think it will. But it would be kind of interesting. It'd be interesting if they did. I remember that hat actually.
I did not like it.
Oh, it didn't make any sense.
No. I mean, like, it was huge, and it blocked the theater, and I was like, I don't like that. I need to see the theater.
I mean, the only way that would have made sense if that would have replaced the theater as like the icon thing. But yeah, it sat right in front of it.
That's what they were trying to do.
It was strange. Yeah.
It was strange.
But yeah, so that's what happened for the Hollywood Studios 35th anniversary. So, all right. Well, for those that may not know, and if you don't know, shame on you. But Mother's Day is coming up on May 12th, and Disney has some things to celebrate it over at Disney Springs.
And a little bit more in everywhere else, but not much. So Disney Springs, you can pose in front of a floral mom sign on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You can also send a postcard with some seeds to your mom, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like seeds, actual plants. Like, okay, that's cool. And on May 4th,
what if your mom doesn't garden?
Then that I wouldn't send that to her. I wouldn't send that to her.
What's this bag of seeds?
Seeds?
That's what you just send is a bag of seeds, and that's it. You're like, what? It was
I love you.
Thoughtful. I'm trying to get you to grow your own food. I'm trying to nourish you.
Oh my. I will nourish you, mother.
If you think about it, she nourished you, and now you're trying to nourish her by providing seeds that can provide nourishment. I'm going to say nourish a lot.
Circle of life. And on
yeah, exactly.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
I think Circle of Life made more sense. You should have stopped while you were ahead.
Okay, great. And on May 4th and 11th, and also May 27th, that's passed, Disney Springs Kids Club is offering complimentary face painting, and moms get mini makeovers. Wow.
Okay.
And then there's 2 chocolate treats that will be available at Marriott's Patisserie and the Ganachery. And more treats are available at a few hotels and table service restaurants for a limited amount of time, basically around Mother's Day.
The limited amount of time being maybe the Monday afterwards.
For like a week and a half. It starts like May 5th. Most of the treats are available May 5th. So that's Sunday. So about a weekish.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Okay. Anyway, it's coming. Get your Mother's Day gifts.
Yes.
Or call your mother.
I mean, at the very least, call your mom.
Call your mother.
Say hello. FaceTime with the children.
Children?
I said children.
Children.
I tried to say chitlin, and it didn't come out right. I said children. I'm just going to go with it. So,
all right.
I'm going to say it's a Midwest thing. I don't know. Moving on. All right. The next story we have is that there are some notable refurbishments coming up that were just announced that you may want to know about.
What is that from? That you may want to know about. Oh, that's Judi Dench from Spaceship Earth that we happen to know about.
Oh, it just came off the top of my head.
It's the way she said it.
I wasn't trying to copy
Dame Judi Dench.
I was going to say Sir Judi Dench. I'm like, that's not the correct term.
No. Okay,
Dame
so
Judi Dench. That's a tough one. Say that 5 times fast.
Dame Judi Dench. Dame Judi Dench.
See? That's tough. That's tough.
Okay. Yacht Club guest room refurbishment will be going from January 2025 to June 2025. So 6 months they'll be working on the rooms, which is good because they need it.
What's a guest refurbishment like, though?
You refurbish the guests that come in.
I want to know what that's like.
Listen.
You walk in.
Okay.
Welcome to Yacht Club. We're here. Your refurbishment. You're like, what?
So more than twice on our show notes, I have I haven't typed a wrong word or I've left a word out, and it's very confusing because Jared is Ron Burgundy and he reads what is written. He reads what is written.
I was.
And he's like, what?
No, you said there were guest refurbishments.
That was on me.
That was you.
On me.
Don't put this on me.
But I corrected myself because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to put room.
I can't be held responsible for being a professional in reading the things that
But isn't a professional like a good
I ad lib a lot, but then you also here's a little behind the scenes for you guys.
Oh gosh,
because there's not a lot of news stories here, so we're just gonna
right.
So I basically work off of an outline. It's all I really need. I've been that way since I don't know, as long as I can remember. Jamie's very detail oriented, as you can see. It's a sitcom. You know how that would go. Like, oh, you. So if I go off script too much, Jamie does not like it. So she tries to reel me back in. So I try and read, okay, Jamie took the time. Like she produces this show. Like, well, I should produce. You, not scripted, but you get all the stuff prepared. I produce it. So I'm doing the audio, video, the clips, all that stuff.
I am the writer and script supervisor.
Yes. And then Jamie doesn't like it if I don't use her notes that she left. So many times I read what she put on there and it's not correct, and she mocks me as Ron Burgundy, which I take as a compliment because if you watched Anchorman, Ron Burgundy was a professional. But I can't. Basically, the whole point is, as a man might say, I can't really win, but it's fine. It's funny. But that was on you on there. But I just would like to know.
I didn't say it was you. I took responsibility, man.
I want to know what a guest refurbishment would be like, though.
As soon as you walk in the lobby, they have you enter one of those like detox rooms where they spray you of
detox.
They spray you of the bacteria and everything. You come out and they give you a robe, and
why are they
go to a spa? Isn't refurbishment for a human like a spa day?
I mean, yeah, really? Why would they detox you? Why do they need to spray you down?
I don't know. It reminds me of one of those like science like the rooms where you go in. And
well, I get that, but I don't know why they're.
That's what I thought of.
Okay, that's fair.
What I think of, man.
I would be a little startled if I walked in and that happened. But.
So I'm going to start over here.
Okay.
So the Yacht Club guest room refurbishment is coming from January 2025 to June 2025. So 6 months full of refurbishments for the guest rooms, which are needed because it's been a while. Also at the same time, Stormalong Bay feature pool is going to be under refurbishment for that same 6 month period. So here is my suggestion. If you don't care about the pool and you're okay with your construction, go ahead and stay there during January to June. Beach Club might be a little bit better over there, but you're still not going to be able to use the best pool at Disney World.
Yeah.
So if the pool is important to you, I would either look for a different resort to stay at this time, the 6 month period, or, if you don't care about it at all, you just want to be close to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, whatever your reason is, then it's fine. But I feel like those two things being like worked on at the same time is pretty significant.
Yeah. I mean, you might be, the time to do it is that time period, first of the year.
When it's cold.
Right. You may be thinking, like, why would we talk about this now? A lot of people plan their trips about this time. And Disney is not, well, sometimes they don't necessarily go out of their way to let you know for sure that there's going to be a refurbishment going on at the hotels all the time. I think it was late last year. They told everybody about the refurbishment for the Stormalong Bay pool. So they knew going in that that's one of those things that people book that resort for, is for that pool. Oh, for sure.
So they gave people more than a year to prep. So if you're a DVC member and you were going to say book at the 11-month window, then you're going to know, okay, maybe I won't do Beach Club this year or something, because of the pool being down. But I don't know.
They could offer discounts too. They might. Well, it sometimes will, but we'll see.
Yeah, they could. I don't know. Still though, that's a significant thing that's gone. At least for me, if I'm staying at beach club or yacht club, I want to use the pool.
For sure. I mean, it's a big draw, so they may be trying to get people in just on a cheaper rate, knowing you can't use that pool.
And the DVC pools and the quiet pools, they're still open, so those are available. But it's not the draw of that
right
pool stuff. But also, and I'm so excited for this, Bay Lake Tower is going under an extended room refurbishment beginning September 2024, and it will end in September 2025. So a full year of working on these rooms. FYI, Bay Lake Tower opened in August of 2009 and has only had a soft goods refurbishment.
Yeah,
that's it.
These rooms definitely need it. We've stayed in them a couple of times, and
last time was 2021, right?
Yes.
And it's tired looking. Like it needs updates like USB, USB ports.
You can tell the rooms. I mean, it has the carpet in the rooms,
the carpets,
stuff like that. You can just tell, like,
they'll put in the Murphy bed, I'm sure.
Yeah, hotels just get some wear and tear, but it could definitely use a little bit of TLC, if you will.
Anytime I see a pull-out bed, like an actual old-fashioned, I'll say old-fashioned pull-out bed from a couch, I immediately know, but like, this room hasn't been refurbished in a while.
It's true.
Because they all have the Murphys, or they have that fifth, like, smaller couch that just like folds down. They have those, but like that's different.
I wonder if they're going to do more. Obviously, like all the rooms have USB, outputs or inputs.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're going to start doing USB-C, because a lot of stuff is switching to USB-C ports and not regular USB. Because even iPhone, I believe this year, is switching to a USB or a USB-C port. I can't say that straight.
There's a lot of BCs in there.
Yes, there is. But I'm wondering if they, that's as fast as technology moves, that's now like becoming much more of a common thing for all the electronic devices.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would be okay with that. We use a lot of stuff that requires the USB-C.
I mean, they're slowly getting phased in. I mean, the regular USB is slowly getting phased out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of cords still utilize it and you can use it, but I'm just curious if maybe they're thinking we're not going to refurb this for another however many years, be thinking, let's just go ahead and change it now. But I don't know. Yeah. That's a very small thing, though.
But anyway, so be very aware that is going on for a year starting in September if you are staying there. So
yes.
But those are some notable refurbishments that you should put on your Disney calendar if you have that.
Don't tell people what to do. Maybe they don't want to.
Okay. I won't do it then.
Just
don't forget that I told you.
Do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want to do.
I don't know. All right. Next story we have is the lightsaber experience at Savvy's Workshop over in Galaxy's Edge now requires full payment at the time of the booking. If you're wondering, the cost to build one is currently $249.99. Very reasonable. And you must be 5 years or older to build one. So you got to pay up front all the way for it if you're going to do this now.
I don't really know the reason why. Maybe they're just trying to gauge, like interest. If people have to build it ahead of time, if they have to pay ahead of time, if they're definitely like, there's not going to be like a no-show.
I don't know. Maybe they just enjoy hearing people on the phone just going,
no, God, no, God, please, no.
I mean, that is, it's a significant amount. I mean, it is a lightsaber. I know that's important for a lot of people to build that. I get that. Personally, that's not something I would like.
I've never done this, so I can't speak to it. I know a lot of people have done it and enjoy it. Being somebody like, I don't collect a lot of stuff, like some little things, like if you're watching this video, like some small things, like Transformers things and, a few things here and there. When it comes to the lightsabers, there's, in terms of if you want like a movie quality one, for me, I don't know, the Savi's thing, you're basically paying for the experience of like going through the whole thing. But if you just want one like a collector's item, I would much rather have like a movie quality like Luke's or Darth Vader or Obi-Wan or whatever, one of those. That's not, I mean, they're still expensive. I think they're like at least $100 still. But for me, I would rather have that versus this other whole building one myself thing. So I don't know. It's never really appealed to me much, but if you are looking to do this, then yeah, you got to fork it over when you call or when you book. So
Yes,
is
sir.
it non-refundable? I would assume you could get a refund if you changed your mind.
I am not sure.
I don't either. I don't know. All right, well, let us know if you book it and then change your mind and you also were screaming.
No, God.
Maybe we'll see.
I think it's one of those things where if you cancel it within a certain time frame, you can get a refund.
I would assume.
But if you go into that time frame that you can't, Disney, you just call and talk to somebody and they're like, okay.
The only problem with that is sometimes it takes like hours to get a hold of somebody. But yes, typically you can get things done that way. But
Yeah.
all right, last news story we have is that Disney has made some changes to the RV and golf cart policy over at Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground.
Yes. So yeah, some of these, there's a little bit of changes that, not that I'm like shocked about, but it's just interesting to know. So Disney's given a list of what they're called Disney featured providers of RVs or campers or whatever. There's Meacham's RV Rental, Escape RV Rental, Kissimmee Orlando RV Rental, and Ohana Camper Rental. It says when renting through one of these providers, you do not need to be present when the equipment is delivered to the resort. The provider will work with the cast members to manage deliveries, setup, and returns of the rented RVs. If you're bringing your own RV, RVs for designated campsite reservations are welcome and must be brought to the resort by the registered guests. So I'm not sure how it worked before, just because we've never done the campsites here. But so you have to be present when they bring the camper or whatever to your campsite. He didn't have to be present before, or did they recently change that?
I'm not 100%
I'm not
sure.
either.
It sounds a lot like the scooter rental that they did where they made that rule.
Scooter bug or whatever.
Yeah, when you had to, before you didn't have to be present, then you did. So,
Right.
I mean, it seems that obviously if you're a authorized Disney provider, there's some perks with that.
Absolutely.
So they're obviously trying to make it more convenient to push people to those. But you still can bring your own. But if and I don't know how people rent RVs. I don't know I would assume maybe they go get it from a place and then drive it in themselves. I guess some places would drop off the RV at the place for you.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know which way they do it, but either way, you have to be there if you're not using one of Disney's providers.
Okay. I know there are some companies, I think maybe it changed last year where they were putting up these parameters and they stopped like renting to people for Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's across the board. I don't think it is, but I just know that it got harder for them to do that.
Yeah.
And as far as golf carts go, same rules apply about who can drive a golf cart and all that stuff. But they do have some new rules now. So you can rent a golf cart from the resort, and there's a number you can call for that. But also they say if you're bringing your own golf cart starting June 1st, you must be prepared to present proof of insurance upon check-in and sign an agreement and waiver. That's new. So I don't know why they're changing that now. I don't know if there's just like they just want to protect themselves more. If there's been accidents, I don't know.
Roving gangs of kids and golf carts, maybe.
And it says third-party golf cart companies may not conduct business on Walt Disney World Resort property. So I don't think they can drop it off without you. I think you have to meet them outside of Fort Wilderness.
It looks like you would have to.
I think that was one of the things the golf cart companies were facing too, is they weren't able to do that. So they're putting a little bit more restrictions on it as well. And as far as the proof of insurance, I think I read it was like up to like $300,000 or something of that covers it or something. Yeah, that's significant.
300,000. Well, I guess it'd be
The
bodily
coverage.
injury,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked by they
No,
kind
not
of
either.
continue to do this stuff where it's like these ancillary little things around a stay at Disney. Kind of, Disney has their whatever, they come to agreement and say we prefer this brand. And if you're not that brand, then it's not that you can't use it. They're just going to put up a lot of hurdles.
Yeah.
Knowing most people are just going to go with the ones that they recommend.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think it's smart. obviously, like I have no problem with them doing this because I mean, it's.
I don't know enough about the situation to know. I mean, maybe something happened. It could be insurance. Maybe their insurance is saying they need to do this. I mean, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But
right.
I didn't. I don't have a golf cart, so I didn't know if you have to have insurance for your golf cart. I didn't know if that was a thing.
I don't know either.
So, I mean, I would assume if
don't
you're
know.
driving it on the street, you would.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like down here. There's some neighborhoods that have golf cart like lanes all over the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think with those. Those aren't technically. I don't think street legal.
See again, I don't know. I don't know. The
I
rules.
never heard that you have to. I'll have to ask. There's a couple people I know in the neighborhood that have one. I'll have to ask if they have to have insurance, but I've never heard of anybody needing insurance as a just a mandatory thing. But
I don't know. But anyway, so those rules will be changing, at least for the golf cart, will be June 1st. So
yes.
there you
All right, that's going to do it for the news. But Jamie does have a poll time.
Poll time. All right. Well, I remembered this week, Jared.
Good job, Jamie.
This week's poll time, I asked in Capture the Magic Community and over on Instagram, what is your favorite snack at Magic Kingdom? So here are the results. 41% said a Dole Whip treat. And I put Dole Whip treat because there's many that encompasses that, not just regular Dole Whip, but many more like floats and stuff. 19% said cheeseburger spring rolls. Cheeseburger spring rolls. 13% said the Mickey Premium Ice Cream Bar. 10% said the Nutella waffle or the waffle sandwich. 6% said the Gaston's cinnamon roll. 5% said corn dog nuggets. 30% said Mickey pretzel. We've had a couple 1%ers in there and then some others, but those were the top picks. What's your favorite snack at Magic Kingdom, Jared?
I like some of the Dole Whip stuff, but I don't like. It's not that I don't like it, but I would not prefer traditional Dole Whip. I like when they do the Fanta strawberry ones and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they did a Fanta grape one, oh man, I'm all over it. But they probably won't do it.
So Dole Whip is your favorite?
I mean, I like the spring rolls, but I just think they're just so expensive for what they are. But I think if I had a choice of a snack, I would probably go with the Gaston cinnamon roll, but just get it early in the morning when it's at its best.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that's a solid one. It's huge, so I think you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Yep.
What about you? Actually, I know what yours
Are you
is.
shocked?
No.
Cheeseburger spring rolls all the way. I've loved these things for years, and I keep anybody that says like, "What should I get at Magic Kingdom?" Like spring rolls. Get the spring rolls. Go try the spring rolls. So.
This
so
is true.
good.
You do that.
If you want to look at the comments real quick, there's a couple of people that gave some good like alternate options that I just couldn't fit in the poll. Someone was talking about the cream cheese pretzel, the stuffed cream cheese pretzel.
I love the concept of that. I haven't had one that does not taste like it's a day old. Like I would love like a cream cheese pretzel does sound really good, and I've had them when they're good, but a lot of times I can just tell they're not fresh.
Pretzel dipping cheese, candied bacon from Westward Ho, which I don't remember if we've had that or not.
I've had candied bacon. I mean, candied bacon's okay. I mean,
someone said popcorn. Let's see, cinnamon roll for sure. LeFou's brew. I mean that's you can get that with the Gaston's cinnamon roll, but I didn't put that in this one. But the ones that I included were the ones that were the most, I guess, common or most popular.
Mainstream, if you will.
Yeah, but I did this mostly on Magic Kingdom just because I know a lot of these overlap at other parks, but I might do the other parks as well. See what their favorite snack is. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so thank you everybody for participating in the poll this week. I will have a new poll next week.
Yes, and if you'll be part of the next poll time, you can do that either by joining the Capture the Magic Facebook community or by following us over on Instagram over at Cap the Magic, and Jamie posts those in the stories over there. Mm-hmm. So that's where you can check that out. So, all right, well, let's talk about Delta Hotels by Marriott. Now, I came across this. I had never actually heard of these until we periodically will just check off property because, again, we get a lot of like we do hotel reviews on Disney property, but the ones off property, I think we get a lot of people have the most questions about, because I think most people probably stay off property if I were to guess, depending on but a lot of people at least stay off property, are looking to potentially to save money and things like that. So there's a lot of interest. So I was like, well, the pictures look good and the price was solid, which we'll talk about shortly. So we just like, okay, let's give it a try. So the hotel details, Jamie, you want to go over those real quick?
Sure. So we'll talk about location first. So it is in Kissimmee, right off of 192. Now, the name of it is Delta Hotels by Marriott Orlando Celebration. You're thinking, oh, it's in Celebration. Technically, it's across the street from Celebration. So, like, there's
Celebration adjacent.
So it's off of 192, like I said. So basically, on 192, you have one side is Kissimmee, the other side is Celebration. It's kind of weird. So yeah, it's in Kissimmee, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a stone's throw from I-44. It's very close.
Yeah. Location now, in terms of
like how long to get to the
yeah,
parks.
I mean, it's like 10-15 minutes to Disney. I mean,
it's 15 to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's not a bad distance.
Right. It's
to where
10
it's
to
at.
Epcot, 10 to Hollywood Studios, like 12 to Animal Kingdom, or 10 maybe 8. I think it's the least amount into Animal Kingdom because you don't have to go so far north.
Yeah.
So it's not bad.
Distance-wise isn't bad.
No.
In terms of ambiance and things, it's located right next to an abandoned hotel.
Yes.
What was that hotel called?
The Orlando Sun Resort.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, it's been abandoned for like over a decade. And I'm not going to lie, when we pulled in and drove by it, I was like, oh gosh, because it's like right next to it.
It's right next to it. It's been abandoned for a while, but
Yeah.
recently that did get bought and is apparently going to be turned into a whole entertainment district right there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that may not be something that this hotel is near in the long term, but in the short
Right.
term, it's right there, and you're like, oh, geez, it's there. But
Yeah.
so that's there. I mean, so when you pull in, and I will say, ambiance of when you pull in the signage at the hotel, it's just a banner.
It's a banner covering for the old hotel.
Which isn't the best first impression, but I was like, okay. Now I don't know how new this is. It's newish.
So they went through a refurbishment, and
Obviously,
I was going to talk about it later. I'll talk about it now. It went through a refurb, and it opened in March of 2023. So it's been redone for about a year.
Well, they should get rid of the banner.
You should get rid of the banner
They should
now.
get rid of the banner. I thought, I wasn't sure on the timeline there, but
Yeah.
so you can tell this was a refurb hotel.
And like theming wise, there's really not a theme here. I mean, it's a Marriott, so you can kind of guess there's like a lot of grays and white and dark blues, hints of pops of color like yellow here and there, and like it's just very, very general, but it's nice. yeah, it's nice-ish.
I mean, if you look at older pictures of it, I mean, you can tell the outside was repainted.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely tell that the hotel itself is dated a bit, but
yeah,
it was
not a bit.
well.
Yeah.
You drive around behind on the back side of it, like our building was in the back area. It's not that it was dirty; it just definitely looked dated. I will say
Yeah,
it was. There was an apartment complex that pushed up next to it, which isn't bad, but I think there was an abandoned apartment complex next to it also.
Oh, you asked me if it was abandoned. I said no. There
One
are a
looked
bunch
a bit,
of
well, I thought there were
cars.
two. Anyways, there was an apartment complex right next to it.
Are we sure it was apartments?
I don't know. It was something there. I couldn't really tell, but so I would say in terms of location to the park's not bad. Ambiance in terms of feeling like you're
in Florida and
well, it depends on what you're
beautiful
used to in a
resort.
hotel. It reminded me of what you would expect from like pulling into like a Motel 6 type of location.
it's not
If
it's
that's
not a
right.
motel though. It is a hotel.
It is a hotel.
Yeah.
It's just the area around it isn't the best. But I will say they did have security. They had actually a lot of security people walking around a lot, I will say. And I think they understood that maybe this was something that people were
An area that-
yeah, so like I mean, they had cars driving up and down all the time. They had people walking through the hallways. They're all real nice. So, I will put it this way. I didn't feel unsafe. But
Okay.
again, I'm also 6'3", 225 and whatever.
Right.
If you were saying, honestly, if you were like, I'm going to be by myself and stay here, I might be like, oh. And we'll talk about one of the reasons in the room. There was something I didn't like. But
speaking of the rooms, they have 2 queen rooms, king rooms. They have regular view, pool views, and they have a presidential suite.
they do. I didn't see it, but they have it apparently.
We did not see those, but that's what you can kind of choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The room itself was a basic size. It wasn't small, but it wasn't big.
Do you want to go? You want to talk about the rooms themselves? Because we can go into it. I'll give you my opinion.
That's what
here.
we're talking about.
Okay, here we go. The ceilings were kind of low,
Which you would expect on an older hotel.
Yep.
So yeah.
but the doors. The
Well,
doors were.
This is yes.
Okay.
This is what I was going to talk about. Was like they're narrow than usual. I think what happened here was a refurb budget. They didn't want to spend the money to replace all the doors because if you think about in a hotel, the amount of doors to replace, it would probably add up pretty quick.
I mean, yeah, but
they're narrower than usual hotel doors you're used to, and they were very thin. Like in most hotel rooms, you're thinking of metal doors.
These were not metal.
These were wood, and they were very like. I'll put it this way: I could have like bumped my shoulder into this and probably gotten into a. I mean, honestly, I could have just very lightly done it and been into a room. And they had locks on them and things like that, but the wood itself would have just given. So I didn't like that. Again, I didn't feel unsafe. It wasn't like it wasn't in a horrible part of town. It just, the ambience isn't, depending where you've stayed before, maybe it wasn't the best. But the doors, I was like, okay, that's something that's not the best. But
yeah. The bathrooms were fine. Looked like a regular, like, Holiday Inn,
they were small. They were
small.
tight. But again, it didn't seem dirty though.
No, it didn't seem dirty. Although when they redid it, they put in carpet again. I was like, ew, no carpet, guys.
They didn't have carpet.
We had a view of the pool, kind of overlooked the little courtyard area, so the view was pretty good. The beds were okay. Were they comfortable for you?
The beds weren't bad. I actually thought the beds were fairly comfortable. So the beds were new.
The mini fridge was not so mini.
It was very big. They had a lot of room in the fridge, which was nice. They had, typical drawers and things you could put if you want to put stuff in there. So a lot of stuff about the room was very typical. They did have a coffee set up that was very small corner where if you wanted to make in-room coffee, which I never do. Jamie called me a coffee snob. That's not something I ever do, but it was there if you wanted to. They had complimentary waters as well that you could take. There was 2 of those, which is nice.
That is nice. Yep. They did have plugins like everywhere. USB.
They did have a lot of USB plugins.
Yeah.
Lots of lights in there too.
Oh yeah, they did have a lot of light. I will say it looked like they did a really good job of trying to have this room look its best. As far as like the soft goods stuff, and they obviously replaced the beds, brand new everything. Everything is brand new. They gutted these rooms. The only thing they left was the height of the ceilings, which they can't help, and the doors.
Yeah.
So everything else was redone. So I was, we were happy with the rooms besides the doors, I think.
Yeah, and the doors that some people may not care about that, some people would. I know for our stroller, I could push it in there, but I kind of had to give it a little extra oomph to get it through the doorway.
We kind of had to wiggle it a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like, are these ADA compliant? Because I don't know. They seemed a little tight.
I have no idea on that, but that was the room. So nothing. There was no amazing things in there. It was just, a pretty basic room. But now where I think this hotel actually does a really good job, I will say, are the amenities. I will give them credit on this. So the amenities, you have an outdoor pool, has a hot tub, pool bar, restaurant, convenience store, fitness center. They do have dry cleaning service and a meeting space.
That's like a convention.
Yeah. So what's about the pool area? For the pool area, they clearly put a lot of money in effort into the pool.
Yes.
It was a good looking pool. It had a slide. Our kids loved it.
It had a waterfall.
It did. It was a pretty big pool. You could tell it had been redone with like the pavers and a lot of seating around with lounge chairs, a lot of umbrellas. They had the pool bar was next to it, so they had waiters and waitresses that would come around and they would bring you drinks or food if you wanted to. And one thing I will say that turned out with this, when staying here, there's a $25 resort fee. But you also get $25 food and drink credit.
Yes. Which
I was like, okay, so you're basically prepaying for food, which I did take advantage of. So I'll talk about the food here in a moment.
Okay.
But pool wise, I was very impressed.
Yeah. It was nice. The kids had a great time. We squeezed in a little pool time between stuff, so we got to swim for a little bit. The splash pad was not where the main pool was. We actually didn't even go over there.
It was like behind everything.
Yeah, so we're like, well, okay, it's fine. I do wish in these pools, these big pools, that they had more shallow end areas where
the
littles can touch, because that's just a nitpicky thing for me, I think. But like even like zero entry, like let's just get some zero entry pool entrances. That'd be great.
Well, I wouldn't say this pool or this hotel itself is really like kid centric.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's very much, I think, going for the younger, like the millennial younger crowd. It didn't
like business.
Yeah, I would say a
maybe.
business type hotel
Yeah.
for sure. Like a lot of the things around it, I think, is why. But
Yeah.
but yeah, pool wise, they put a lot of effort in there. Now the pool bar, the pool area. So,
What did you get to eat?
well, I was starving this day, and
Yeah.
then Jamie was like, "We have $25 in resort credit." I'm like, "Deal." So I go up there, and I will say the prices here were priced very much like as if you're on Disney property, because I think they know probably most people are getting that resort credit.
I mean, they're priced like Florida tourists.
They were a little high. I mean, I got a Cuban sandwich and it was $18. That's a little steep for a Cuban, even.
Yeah.
Well,
they know you got that destination.
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like I think they're including the prices there a little bit, knowing most people have that credit. Now, do you get that resort credit every day if you stay multiple days?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just a
That's
one thing.
curious thing. Okay.
Yep.
So I got a Cuban sandwich, and I think I got like a Yingling. So the total came to like $27, I think, and I think I paid, out of my own pocket, I paid like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the Cuban sandwich was delicious. Now,
All right.
I was starving. There's that caveat, but it was very, very good. I was very impressed with how good it was.
Good.
The only thing I will say, they didn't have like clear. It says Rum Shack when you on the pool bar. I didn't know they had food, so I went inside. So there's a couple of places. They have a restaurant on property. It was closed, and
I
then
think it's called The Point, by the way.
yeah, the Point. And then you go inside. And they have like a grab and go area with coffees that was not hot, and then they had another bar inside.
Okay.
All of it in the lobby though looked very good. I mean, it all looked clean and like nice, and TVs, almost like a sports bar atmosphere at the bar in there. So again, the amenity side had a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So so I finally went up to the pool bar outside, and I was like, "Do you guys serve food?" And she was like, "Oh yeah," and they brought me a menu. They didn't make it clear because there's no kitchen there. So when
they
you
just
order
bring it
food,
out.
they bring it out. So I wasn't sure. So, but yeah, food wise, it was really good. I had no complaints.
Good.
It was a decent portion size. Came with fries. I shared the fries with our son.
Yep.
And so I mean, amenities wise, I would say the pool area is where it shines. There's even a little area to the side that's got like these couches and lounge chairs out there where you can like literally lay down by a fire.
Yeah.
So like again,
pretty cool.
They put a lot of design effort into this area, so I think this is probably the strongest part. In the fitness center that you walk through, they had another center outside before you got into the pool area that was like had the little string lights where you could sit outside at tables.
Oh, yeah, that little courtyard
Yeah, little
area with
courtyard.
like a pavilion thing.
It was really nice. So
Uh-huh.
I think the amenities side of things, I again really enjoyed.
Yes.
So I think that's
was
probably
bad.
the strongest part of this hotel.
I will mention they do have a pet policy. You can bring your pets for $75 a night. And I looked, and the max weight is 75 pounds,
Okay.
that's still a pretty big dog.
Yeah.
Parking is $22 per night. Although, like, I don't know if I needed to say we had a car, because the parking gate didn't work. Like, we could just go in and park unless they have like a parking patrol person that like checks.
It's hard to know because
I don't know, because I didn't have to use it.
Yeah, it has an arm to get in and out, but it just automatically would show up. You did have to put a mirror tag
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess I could check it. I don't know,
I don't know.
I suppose you could risk it if you wanted to, but I don't know.
Yeah. Transportation wise, there is complimentary shuttles to Walt Disney World parks, Disney Springs, and Universal. Actually, it is scheduled, and you must reserve it ahead of time. They'll give you a little schedule and stuff. Prices for the rooms start as low as $71 per night.
Yes. And I think
Which
this
is
is probably the
crazy
thing
low.
that draws most people to this hotel is going to be the price. Because I saw it kept popping up at $89 a night.
Okay.
That's what we would look at different various weekends and around that price. Sometimes it would be a little lower. Weekends might get up to 90 something, but
Yeah.
you can find this pretty easily under $100.
Yeah. So we're talking about the resort fee, or they call it a destination fee of $29 or $25 per night. So I guess that is $25 in food and beverage. I think that's just a one-time thing though. I think but the per night destination fee is.
I don't know. It's something we could check. I don't know. We only stayed one night.
Right.
So you either have it one-time use or you do have that daily. So
I don't know if you have that daily. But well, anyway, so that covers the shuttle to the parks. Like you're talking about Wi-Fi, use of the tennis courts and like racket rentals, stuff like that. The daily fitness classes, yoga, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's basic. That's the basics. We talked about the renovation of the hotel. I do want to mention that it used to be called Grand Orlando Resort at Celebration, and it was like orange.
The
I looked at the
outside
pictures.
was very
It
orange,
was orange, and it looked so dated. So it really needed a refurb. But so it looks much better now. So, and we talked about our room and everything. So,
yeah, I think what did we pay? 150-ish.
so we ended up all in. We were $173, but that includes the parking fee of $22. That includes the taxes, and that includes the destination fee. So when I booked the room rate, it was $121.
Yeah.
And this weekend that we did this, it was like Run Disney.
Yeah.
So, and there was a bunch of stuff going on this weekend. So it was just a higher price weekend anyway. And we're still in like spring break, technically.
Yeah.
So that was higher. But that was the member non-refundable rate for Marriott.
Yeah. I would say at that price point, it's not worth it.
Really?
I'd say anything over 150, I would give it a hard no for me.
I mean, the thing is, though, if you looked at every other place, you're gonna spend way more all over Orlando.
Right.
So.
I'm just saying in terms of what you get, but in terms of just like everything being equal.
Yeah.
I guess the question comes down to like, would we recommend it or would we stay here again? For me, I would probably stay here again, but I don't think I would with our kids.
Okay.
I mean, again, it wasn't bad. It's just definitely not a hotel that's designed for kids. But they did enjoy the pool, so I don't know. Maybe we would. I don't know. It was just it didn't strike me as that. But I probably would stay here again. But I would probably stay here again whenever it's like $100 or less. Personally speaking, it's not terrible, but I think there's much better hotels that provide similar amenities that are nicer and in better maybe areas and have better ambiance all around and all that stuff.
Yes. I don't want to stay here again. It's okay. It's not the best place I've ever stayed. I have stayed in nicer places for $173 before. I mean, if you compare it to a Disney Value Resort, I mean, you can stay at a Disney Value for, I've seen prices as low as $95 a night at like All Star Sports.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay for parking there
or
a destination fee.
Yeah. And I think that's where off property, because like people look at off properties and a lot of times they assume immediately, like let's say you're going to Disney or Universal, like there's like, well, it's just going to be cheaper off property. It's not always the case. I mean, obviously if you go moderate or you go deluxe, premier, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot of money per night. But if you go the value end of things, the All Stars, I mean, like you were saying, you can get in the low hundreds. Sometimes, every once in a while, you get them under 100. It does happen.
Yep.
Universal, their values, many times you can get under $100. And a lot of times you got that extra room. So once you're, and that's the thing I'm comparing this to is like, in my head, I'm thinking of Dockside, Surfside over Universal where you got that extra room.
Shoot, yeah.
And a lot of times you can get that for, I mean, we've stayed in that room for under $100 or around $100 a night, even when it's busy and you've got, all the amenities and stuff.
It would make no sense to stay here versus Surfside or Dockside, in my opinion.
Right. Or even like if price is your determining factor, I would even say I'd still just look at Disney Value Resorts. I mean, I guess you could make the pool area is nice, but I don't think I think the pool areas at Disney are comparable.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a slide, I suppose, at the values, but the slide here wasn't like a huge slide. So I don't think you're getting enough by staying over here. You're not really saving. I mean, I guess you could potentially, like if you can get a price here for like in the 70s and maybe at Disney it was like in the hundreds and you're staying for 5 nights, I suppose you could save a decent amount of money there, but then you've got, again, the parking fee, the resort fee, all that extra stuff that goes along with it.
Sure.
Whereas the nice thing about Disney is like your price is your price. There's no parking fee. There's no extra stuff. So yeah, I don't see a scenario really to me where it's worth going this far out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have no interest in staying here again, to be very honest.
Okay. Well,
So-
what would you give it? What would be your score?
All things considered, the fact that it sits next to that abandoned hotel,
That
didn't like it.
That doesn't help.
The narrow doorways, which again I feel like is nitpicky, but it did affect us because of the stroller, because we have a double stroller, and it fits everywhere else like at Disney and stuff. So there's that, and like I don't know, it just not a big fan of the area. I think there was like a couple of Celebration hotels like across the street that looked like a little bit nicer, but like we were right off the highway. I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah, just not my favorite.
You know, the narrowness of the doors didn't bother me as much as the weakness of the doors. Just from a,
They were weak.
I'm always just looking at a security standpoint.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that the narrowness is one thing, but that part, and I think that could be something that could be a real deal breaker for some people. Some people may not mind, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't feel unsafe. I just didn't feel as relaxed as I would, like, say, staying over at Universal or Disney. Put it that way.
Same.
The way to put it.
Yep.
Not that I ever felt in danger, but I'm just sort of like, you know.
Well, if you're a woman traveling either by yourself or with other women or with your kids or whatever, safety's a big thing.
For sure. And that's why I was saying, if
yeah.
you were coming and staying in a hotel, like, say, you and just the kids, I'd be
Yeah.
like, well, that's not. Like,
I
I
would never stay there by myself.
I put it
or
this
with
way.
The kids, no.
Yeah, I don't worry about you whenever, like, I mean, it's not often. Sometimes you do go, you know, with the kids or just by yourself. If you're staying like at Disney, Universal, like, I'm just like, I don't worry.
Yeah.
You know, as much as versus like somewhere like this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said all before, it's hard to make an argument where this would make sense versus staying. Especially the thing that this argument would be as a price point. I guess there are some other amenities here that I guess could pique your interest. It depends on what you're looking for out of a hotel. My thing would be, I would still say stay on Disney or Universal property. That's what you're looking for cheaper. So I'd probably give it, I'd say about the same, 5 or a 6 in that range. Food was good. They do have a bar there. So, I mean, there's that. Again, depends what you're looking for. But it didn't make a good first impression when you pull up and there's a banner that says this is the hotel, especially Marriott. Like, I'm thinking, you guys can afford a sign here. Like, you're not like an upstart hotel company, but not a great first impression. The ambiance and stuff around it, you know, maybe this changes in a few years if the entertainment district happens, you know, where that abandoned hotel is, and this changes a bit. But as it stands now, I don't think I would recommend staying here, you know, unless you just, there's nothing else available and you get a really good price and then it makes sense for you. But
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for our Delta hotel review. I don't think they will be sponsoring us anytime soon.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We appreciate your honesty. Just here you go. But no, I mean, that's nothing. I wouldn't tell them if they came and asked. I would tell people that. I was like, you know, listen, it's not to be mean. It's just our opinion about it. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the show today. So be sure to follow us on social media at Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok. We're at Capture the Magic as long as TikTok is around. Anyways, it auto posts from Instagram from there. So there you go. We also have other shows on the network. You can check out the CTM Universal show, which we will have next week. And we will talk about, we ate at Circus McGurkus.
There's also lots of news coming out all over the place. So we'll have way more to talk about. It'll be a long episode.
There is some more Epic Universe announcements coming out. It's going to be Super Nintendo World this week. So I'll be curious if there's anything that we don't know, given that there's already 2 other parks in the world. So we'll see. Yep. But that is on, you can check it on this channel or on its own feed as well. Jamie has Trip Tales. It's her Trip Report show. And when's the next one there going to be?
It will be either the day after Mother's Day or like that Tuesday after.
Okay.
So a couple weeks.
All right. And again, if you want more content, check out Club 32, ctmvip.com. And that'll do it. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
bye.